right. So today on NewbieVeT, got a special guest. We got my dog, Niecey B Jr.
What's up, y'all?
What's going on?
Shit.
Big niece.
Big Junior.
Big Junior.
Don't forget the B or the Junior.
Exactly.
It's mine, and it means something to me.
Facts. So, all right, so let's get into it. So, you're originally from Augusta, Georgia?
No. I was born in Edison, New Jersey, really New Brunswick, St. Petersburg. I moved down here at about like 3 years old. So I was raised here, but not really from here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I don't have a whole lot of family here or like ties here. Most of my people are from other places, Jersey and Virginia and shit like that. But
okay.
I know here, but I don't know here. You know what I mean? So,
right. Oh, okay. A lot of people thought you was from Augusta.
No, I'm not. I'm not from Augusta.
Okay.
I don't really have a whole lot of, like I say, like ties and family here. Okay. Like, so I don't feel like I'm from here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's crazy because that's where my family from. We from Jersey.
Right.
Like Mosley, we from Trenton, New Brunswick.
Right.
All that area. Decatur, not Decatur. Camden.
Camden. Yeah. So, Camden, dangerous.
So, So that was my family from. Like I'm not really as closest to them as like that. Cause I was a lot young when we moved, so but
it's a 12-hour difference. That's a lot.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I know a lot of people come down here from Jersey. I don't know why, but
I guess because it's slower and the cost of living, and it's they can buy a house cheaper down here.
Cause I mean that mess is ridiculous up there.
Yeah,
it's a lot. You have to really be damn near thousandaire, millionaire to survive, and that's just surviving. That's not thriving up there. Like. Run down, hole in the wall, underground apartment will cost you $1,000, $2,000
for a studio apartment.
Yeah, 1 bedroom.
1 bedroom.
Like, that's ridiculous. So.
Yeah, man, it is. So, what school you went to?
On the west side. I stayed on the west side of Augusta for most of my life. Really, all of my life. I went from Abraham Mary to Tut Middle School to West Side. So. The hilltop is kind of like my stomping grounds. I'm not really from there. I always stayed like on the outskirts, but those were most of my lifelong, long-time friends, people I've known all my life come from. Right.
So the hilltop, that was kind of tough, wasn't it? From what I heard.
Back in the day, from what I heard, I wasn't really in the mix like that.
From what I heard,
being around the little brothers and the little sisters and stuff like that, you hear the stories about what's going on. And you see, they older brothers and stuff going to jail and, people losing their life. You see it, but I wasn't in it. So.
Right.
I was always on the outskirts.
Yeah. And that's crazy because, like, when you talk to people, have a conversation with people, you tell them that's where you come from, they look at you like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
Like, you be like, I'm from Fox Den. What? I'm from, I'm from the bottom.
Yeah.
Like, people just automatically think you just been in some stuff or you just been around and everybody that's so dope or whatever in the area.
Nah.
Just be out the way.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I'm always out the way.
Right.
Right.
Right. All right, so let's get into it, man. So, James Brown.
Yeah.
James Brown, and one way, I don't feel like we can have a conversation without bringing that in there.
Right.
And even though you don't like to talk about it as much, but you're the granddaughter of James Brown.
Right.
Okay, which is, James Brown's son is your father.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Daryl Brown. I always say the light-skinned one that's always playing the guitar behind him. That's my daddy.
Okay. Cool. So, first off, like, what was it like growing up being just in that family alone? The history of James Brown and just being a part of that blood.
Coming up in it, I was so young, like, I didn't really understand the bigness of it, the extent of who he was. He was granddaddy to me. Like, honestly, when he came around, he would just grab my face and just look at me and stare at me. And that was granddaddy. It wasn't James Brown for me. Even though I did see, like, we went to shows. He took us to all his shows, damn near. At least took some of his family there with him. Either it was my mom and my daddy, my Aunt Deanna, anybody, we all could go with him. But I had plenty of limo rides going down to Macon for shows and Savannah for shows. And like I have those memories, and he's brought us as his grandchildren on stage before. So like those are some of my earliest memories of being around that type of environment, just and seeing it, but I still didn't grasp like the full extent of it. It was still, he was still just granddaddy to me. It didn't hit me until later on, maybe about closer to his time of death. I was like 9, 10. And that was really when I was starting to like figure out what did I want to do for myself. And I really wanted to sing. So I tried to be a little bit closer to him. But unfortunately, you know, he passed, you know, I was about 10 years old.
Yeah. Right.
So I didn't really get to make those connections and get in front of those executives and really I never really even got a chance to tell him that I wanted to do music. I always went around to other family members, and they always looked at, I don't really want to say the bad side of the business, but just knowing that and knowing me as I'm coming into it as a child, I don't really think a lot of them wanted me to deal with.
Yeah. They're trying to like really try to steer you away from the music side, right?
Right. So I didn't really get a chance to come to him with it. So
gotcha.
It led me to do other things. Like I got really into basketball and biology. I wanted to be a doctor and things like that. And then later on in life, I'm just like, I don't see myself working for nobody. I don't see myself doing anything else other than entertain in some way, shape, or form. So I just went out on a limb on my own at 20, I want to say 23, 24, really earlier than that, because I started modeling and started doing videos like for local artists around here.
Right.
But I always kind of had my hand in something
right.
kind of entertainment, even if it was in school, like being in the chorus and going for the solo parts. You know, like I was on the dance teams, I was on the step teams. I always did something that had something to do with.
So you was multi-talented. You wasn't. It wasn't just music. It was dancing, arts, acting, the whole nine.
Right.
Yeah. So full blown entertainer.
Right.
Facts. Okay. So basically, when you, after your grandfather passed, do you remember the funeral? You remember what it was like?
Yeah, it was, I don't think it registered for me now how impactful and big it was, and how this is one of the only like artists and entertainers that had several different funerals. Like they carried this man around for real. We were in New York when we found out. We were at my grandmother's house in New Jersey, and they just so happened to be bringing him up there, and they had a funeral up there. So my mother and my father got to go to that one. We didn't go because they didn't want us to deal with all of that consecutively. So
that's crazy, because he's known as the hardest working man in show business. And even in death, he's the hardest man.
Right.
I've never heard of someone having multiple funerals like it's a concert.
Yeah. It really was. They had people come up perform. It was a concert. I mean, people, all kind of actors came out, and not just musicians.
Right.
Like everybody in the entertainment industry. If they were in the area, they came to his funeral.
Right.
So
dude. You had the biggest star in the world, Michael Jackson, in Augusta. Down here, like for your grandfather.
Yes.
Michael looked up to your grandfather. Yes. That was his idol.
And for him to come and show his respects in that way, and not say, "Oh, this place is too little for me," or you know, he didn't go to the one in New York. He went to where his home was. He came here.
Because he knows matter more.
Right.
With his family. Facts. Okay. So, when you finally trying to get out there on your own, working on your own, you know, your own brand, your things like that, what was going through your mind? Like, okay, how can I get out there without using my grandfather's legacy? Because I know when me and you first talked, and when I found out I was like, well, why she's not using that? Like, why you not taking advantage of that? Then when you broke it to me, I was like, I respect that.
Yeah. Because I'm talented because I'm talented.
Right.
You know, I do have that DNA. I do have that empowerment in me, but it's still me. Like, it's still me putting in the work, just like it was still him. I don't make no money off of what he do. I didn't get anything from that other than just being around that greatness and soaking that in. But his work was his work, just like my work is my work. And I always wanted to be respected in that regard. And even as a child, it would bother me to hear people say that. That's why I kind of didn't. And I would tell people that knew, don't tell anybody, don't say anything. Like, people know that I went to school with. I would tell them, you know, if new people came around, we had new students, don't say nothing. Like, it's not that deep. I am who I am, and I'm not James Brown. I have that in me, but I'm not him. You know, I'm Niecey B Jr.
Right.
You know, in my own right.
I totally feel you, because it's like, if you growing up, I can only imagine, like, just having James Brown's grandfather, and you tell everybody know that. Now you gotta worry about harassment every day. Not only then, you gotta worry about. It's worse that you have people around you that are fake. Yeah. You don't know who's real for you. Yeah. Well, just imagine that in school, when everybody knew who you were, and like it was officially known, everybody, you would have had everybody in your face. You know what I'm saying? So it could have just. I totally feel you on that.
And that's kind of how it went, because after he died, people kind of trickled off of me. They didn't, you know, didn't care to be friends anymore and things like that. And I looked at those things, you know, as you get older, you see those things, so that even more puts emphasis on how you feel. Like, even as a child, like, me and my sister have had teachers, grown women, grown folks, like, mistreat us. Like, my sister was made to scrub the floor in 6th grade, like, by a teacher that would just nitpick at her, you know, and you know why. You know, you can't say that's why, but you know why. And you're a child, and you didn't do anything to anybody. And that's what people have to understand with me. Like, I was a child coming up into this. So now as an adult, I am set in my ways, and I do have my own feelings about it. Like, and I'm not wavering from that. You can't move me from that, because I know what I've experienced. So I'm going to say what I've experienced.
Right. Facts. Okay. The Wolfpack, Visual Minds. How did you want to link it up with those? Shout out to those.
I've always seen those, like, as a little girl on MySpace. I seen, you know, he was trying to do his music then when Facebook became a thing, and I got my Facebook. Those was one of the first people that I've seen. Like, he had a music page. Like, he actually was trying, and you would see him at, like, the Mayfest and things like that. So I always knew of him, but I didn't really have any type of, like I said, I don't have no family ties, connections around here. It was just who I went to school with was who I knew. Right. And I ended up later on in life, I want to say it was 2016, I met Smooth.
Shout out Smooth.
And for real, that's my dog. He's Smooth, my best friend. Cool. And we formed a bond. We got really close. And he, you know, do music and different things around here, hosts and stuff like that. So him and Doze were click tight. And they met from a music video that Jamel did way back when, and Doze just came and showed love, you know, and they had a connection. So he kind of put me in front of Doze after that, and we didn't even like bond strictly on music. Like, it didn't become you a part of VMP, like, as an artist right away. It was more so like I was always there to, like, give advice. Like, we really chilled on some real, like, getting to know each other, like, building a friendship, building a bond type of situation. And like, we would all be hotboxing in the car. I'd be playing, like, the old school jams, and those would be like, how you even know about any of this? Like, how you remember these songs? And it would give him ideas on how to flip different beats and stuff like that. So that's how we became close. And we ended up, me and Jamel, he was working on, I forgot what album it was. I think it was Lone Wolf. He was working on Lone Wolf. And we ended up going to Shorts Studio at the time, and he had a song, Double Twerk, already, you know, put together, and he had an idea of who he wanted on the song, but the young lady, she couldn't show up for whatever reason. So I just said, you know, let me go ahead and let me try it. I'm here, I'm sitting here, let me try it. And I sat there and I wrote a verse, and we did the song, and everybody loved it. And after that, I was just like, okay, I can I can do this. So, and then I came to Doze with it, and he was like, yeah, you know, like, you already VMP, pretty much. Like, we already family. If you want, this is what you really want to do, then I'll help you. So, that's how it ended up happening.
Oh, that's what's up, man. That what's up. Yeah. Y'all been locked in.
Locked in.
Been locked the hell in. So dealing with the music, man, like, what are some things that you learned when you went out, like, started, when you dropped your project? What was the name of your project?
Baskin and Robbins.
Baskin and Robbins
is my first album, my first project, my first anything that I ever put together on my own.
What made you come up with Baskin? I mean, why the name?
It's really like a pun on words. I was really childhood memory I have, because for a while me and my mama didn't have cable, and it was just me and her. We would go to, like, Barnes and Nobles and things like that, and rent old series, and we'd be binge watching Laws and stuff like that. That's what we did with The Wire. Wow. And I really fell in love with The Wire, and I love Omar. I love that character. R.I.P. to him. That shit's sad, but I really I love me some Wire. Like, I love that show. So it was like a play off of Omar's character, how when he came around, people would scatter off and they was just scared of him, and that whole what's it called? What's it called? And I say it at the end of the damn shit. That goddamn that little, it's like the ice cream song that he whistles it, and everybody know Omar coming. They already know he's coming.
I kind of know what you're talking about. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So I kind of had, like, played off that. And it's really because, and I understand, like, you know, this is my first time doing an album. This is my first time putting a project together.
Know you coming.
Yeah, and, like, not even that. Like, I understand how it might not even have, like, came across the right way. Like, people don't really get what I was trying to do, because, like, I'm not only an artist. Like, I was thinking about it on a big scale of, like, how I could formulate the videos to go along with it. Like, so
that's dope.
And I never really got a chance to do that because I ended up getting pregnant.
Yeah.
So it kind of slowed down me putting that whole video project together. But it would have had all came together, and I probably still do it. I'm gonna go back and, you know, I got time. But
you got time. And congratulations on the baby.
Thank you.
How old is he or she?
She. Grace. She is 9 months. She'll be 10 months on the 8th, July 8th. She is the smartest little baby. That thing is wild. She's not even 1 year old yet, and she climbing on stuff. She can't walk, but she climbing on stuff. It's like having a little boy. I don't know what's wrong, what I did. But she is bouncing from wall to wall. But she's a joy. She has the biggest smile. Right. And she really put like a different type of fire into my ears. Like
right. Oh, that's what's up. All right, so let's get into a incident that happened recently. So there was a flyer that was on Facebook that was sharing around. I guess it was a show coming up, and it was at the James Brown Arena, and somehow you had made a post about it that was said. Do you remember the post?
Yes.
What was the post?
I remember exactly what I said. I think I said, "How are you having a birthday bash at the James Brown Arena and you don't have his granddaughter performing?" Right. I said, I missed school to hand you bitches turkeys and toys. Like, y'all, this is weird to me. And I didn't think it was gonna get that big. Like, I didn't think the whole Augusta was gonna get offended by it. And it is what it is, but
it started a whole Facebook debate on that.
But, you know, that's fine. That's what I intended to do. Yeah. You know, if I really wanted to get on the show, I wouldn't have. I know business. Right. I wouldn't have handled it like that. Right. You know, it was just to make a statement. To make a point about how I feel like his legacy is being continued around the place that he loved, and he spent a lot of time and spent a lot of money, and I don't feel like us as his family or anything that he's left behind is really valued here until it's time to be used for somebody else.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
And you have a lot of people Just like you yourself who come to me and say, well, why don't you use his legacy? Why don't you? But when it's time for people to really show love on that end, I don't get to look out.
Right.
So that's why I don't, you know. It's like, it's no point in doing that.
Yeah. You got to be able to meet halfway, halfway. Got you.
Right. And that's all I was really trying to get at. It was more so, you know, we continue as his family to do the toy giveaway and the turkey giveaway. We don't have the funds to do that. You know, it's whoever donates and whoever can give and whatever we can muster up together to continue to do those things for this city. Yeah. As many people who shared that, nobody donates. No black businesses donate to the turkey giveaway or the toy giveaway. They don't, you know, and I understand that people do their own things, and I commend those people for that, you know, because his biggest thing was charity. Was giving back, because he had nothing when he came, literally was born into a shack, you know. So he always wanted to give back. So I commend anybody doing that, even if you're doing it on your own, you know, but it just, his legacy should have a bigger impact. They should care more. Right. You know what I'm saying? Every time I meet somebody and they do find out, I always get a story of how he would come to the hood and hand out money, or my uncle worked for him, or my granddaddy worked for him, or he did this, or he did that. They got some kind of personal tie to him. But y'all do nothing in the city to realize his birthday bash is not as big as it should be. That's what the birthday bash should be. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. Like, I know a lot of people were saying, oh, it's not James Brown birthday bash, or it's not even James Brown arena, but you have to, anybody that's in this business, you understand optics. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
How would it, that's just like, that's no different. I know what you mean. That's like if you go to Dayton, Ohio. It's a Dayton, Ohio? Yeah, where Michael Jackson was born or whatever. And, you know, that's like, you know, you're going down to, you know, the area and they got a statue and arena and all that dedicated to Mike. And you know what I'm saying, you do a Michael Jackson birthday bash or something birthday bash, and you know, some people out that area would expect some member of the family or somebody representing of that brand to show up. If not performing, at least be there. Yeah.
And that's really all I was saying. I wasn't taking a dig at nobody personally. I don't know who putting this show together. I don't know anything. But like I said, I understand optics. It don't say who birthday bash it is. Like when you look at the birthday bash that's in Atlanta or even in New York, it's for a radio station. There's no clear cut, you know, who birthday bash it is. All you see is birthday bash. You see No Cap, and then you see James Brown Arena. Anybody understand optics? You know what I'm saying? And they could have had it anywhere. You're having it there for a reason. You know what I'm saying? You could have had it at the Bell Auditorium, or you could have had it outside at the Mayfest, where you probably could have had, you know what I'm saying, made it look more packed. But you're having it there for a reason. So that's why I said what I said.
Yeah, cause like, you know, when I found out about the post, you know, it started growing. It becomes something else. It became. The older rappers are hating on the younger female rappers because there was only two females that was on there, which I knew that wasn't the case. Like, it couldn't have been the case.
Nah, I commend anybody who's out here doing this. It's not easy. We coming out of pocket. We doing all this on our own. We don't have no help, especially coming out of Augusta. We have each other for real. It's the engineers and the DJs and everybody, we all in this together. We all trying to use each other to level up. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't that. I didn't even, and I can understand how, what I will say, and I will be a grown woman about, I can understand how, you know, those young ladies would feel like maybe I took their shine. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't congratulate them. And at the time, it didn't cross my mind because I wasn't thinking about it. Like, it wasn't about them for me. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about them for me. It wasn't. So I wasn't trying to dig at them. I wasn't trying to dig at them. They didn't put the showcase together. You know, I couldn't. Like, that's not their fault. Like, and I congratulate them. Like, that's a big accomplishment. And I know they work their ass off. I see them girls. Like, I see them all the time. They work their ass off. They deserve that. It wasn't that for me. So that's why I didn't think about it that way. Because it didn't come from that place.
Right.
From what I was saying, that wasn't the point that I was trying to make at all. Right. So I can't say that, you know what I'm saying? I give y'all that. That's my bad. I apologize. You know what I'm saying? For overshadowing, and I didn't think it was gonna get that big. I talk shit all the time. Y'all see me. I talk shit all the time. Nobody say nothing. I don't care. Y'all overlook me. I talk shit. I'm a rapper. Like, that's what I do. And that's really all that turkeys and toys. Like, that's a pun on words. That's what I do. Like,
but you know how the city is. It's like, it was kind of like the timing, I guess, because it's like, you know, they probably was already getting flacked by other people. You know, I know this town, as soon as they see one independent artist on the flyer with somebody coming to town, everybody gonna be hating on like, yo, how you get on this flyer? Hey, who balls you had to lick? You had to do something to get this role. Like, you didn't work hard for it. Like, you know, I can really sit here and vouch for, like, you know, Jada and Stucco. Those my babies, both of them. I love both of them. They're my babies. Like, I actually see. I mean, I done seen Kayla been in spots. I ain't even know she like just popped up there. Like, we in the same spot. I'm like, damn, you all the way up here, like, cause, you know, and I just remember Jada when she was little, and I remember meeting her when she was young, and I was telling her she was 5. Like, you gonna be 5 the older you get. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I think there's one thing Augusta gotta get out of. Like, they gotta not take everything so seriously. Judge it by the person too. Yeah. But I just felt like it was, you know, because there was so many people coming at them. Yeah. So I guess, you know.
And see, I didn't know that, because I don't. Me myself, like, I'm big on mental health, and I do suffer. You know what I'm saying? So I have to take those social media breaks. I pop in and out. Oh yeah. And I'm really, to be completely honest, trying to get away from Facebook. So I hadn't been on Facebook for a long time. That was just as soon as I got on, that was the first thing I seen was the flyer. And I'm like, how y'all have? I didn't even know it was birthday that's going on. Like, that was my first introduction to it, was the flyer, and then it had local artists on it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, if y'all allowing, you know what I'm saying, people to do that, because I know they had the Gucci Man or whatever concert that came here. My sister went. I don't think they let nobody open up for them. I can't remember, but you know what I'm saying? This is one of the first concerts that they are allowing people here to be a part of, and I just felt like, well, dang, you know, as many people that I have met that all of a sudden acting like they don't know who I am, you know, that have said to me, well, you should use it. You should use his legacy. You should be bigger here. People should, you know, pay your family more respects. And then to not even get a shout out from anybody, you know what I'm saying? We'll say, hey, you know what I'm saying? You know, she does music, and that's his granddaughter. Throw him, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like, anybody. It didn't matter if it was the people that was actually putting it together. Like, so that's all I was saying.
Yeah. I feel like any big show, I'm just happy that they now finally letting independent artists now perform. Yeah. You know, because I really feel like any show that they bringing any artists down here, they need to put independent artists on the period. Right. You know, I just feel like that's only right. If you bringing people down here, don't bring artists down here just to make a bag and haul ass. Mm-hmm. If you bringing them down here, give some artists down here the opportunity to get some of that shine. Mm-hmm.
And make those connections.
Right. And then get your bag at the same time. That's what I feel is the most generous thing. If an artist or 85 or whoever comedy show, whoever come down here, make a few hours for some of the talent that's desertable down here, for them to hit that stage. Like, you know, you'll get more love in Augusta from everybody by doing stuff like that. But just, it's time out for that coming down here. You get your bag and you dip, and nobody has an opportunity to touch
and rotate it. Because just because you may feel like this person has more shine, you know what I'm saying? You could be helping somebody else to be put on. These people over here on this side of town don't know about him, but these people on this side of town do. And you rotate it. Now you got, you know what I'm saying, a bigger spectrum of people for everybody. Like, I feel like that's the part when people say it's very like picky and choosy of who they put on. Right. Like, it's not genuine in the fact that when you do something small, like say I do a show at Some Young Ho, like I go up there, I bartend there. So I just go up there sometimes, you know, and people come up and they be like, oh, you ripped that, you know what I'm saying, you sound good. Mm-hmm. And then when it's time for like
that support to kick in.
it ain't there. You know what I'm saying? So
that's how it be. Because people congratulate you and stuff when it's convenient and at a certain time, but it like you said, it'll never come in a time when you really need it, and that's the part that
But if they see that those people that are putting stuff together do have your back a little bit, then the rest of the city will catch on.
Oh yeah. That's just that's no different than some of the artists that Honestly, I hear names of who's big in the city, who's not. I don't feed into none of that because honestly, they still here.
Right.
All right, so there's really nobody big in the city. I mean, honestly, if you want to be technical, yeah, you got popular people in the city, but big in the city mean once your name should be able to shut down a city because you're performing. That's big in the city. When if there's multiple events in the city, then you're not the biggest thing in the city. Where if there's multiple artists or multiple events, things going on, there's multiple crowds split everywhere.
Right.
You feel me?
You're not the main event.
You're not the main event.
Yeah.
So that's why I said that we don't have one of those type down this way. We got a lot of popular people. Yeah. And those only popular by choice. You know what I'm saying? So or by option. They're not popular by there's certain names that goes around, but they don't register on radio, or they don't register, you don't hear them a lot. Yeah. Like Augusta don't really support their artists that they popular artists really. They don't hear them play it on the radio as much. You don't hear them spin in the clubs. You don't really hear that much of them pumping.
They just want to show up
when
you are opening up for somebody else in the club.
Facts. To
be able to walk in with you for free.
Facts.
And maybe get in your section and be next to that person.
Facts.
And that's really all it.
Yeah, and it's like either that or they got the bag, so they wait till those opportunities. How much it is? 3 racks. Okay, I paid 3 racks. Now you got put your face on the flyer. Now you're on the flyer with these people. I mean, it's a business. It's a business, but I just feel like it needs to be a change to certain things. Because at the end of the day, the people, it's the people that make the bag for the artists. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. The artists can't survive without the people.
Right. So, and it's also like a certain type of image that I guess Augusta wants to portray to the world.
Well, and what image? The best thing, Augusta don't have an image. Augusta has no image. The last image Augusta had was James Brown.
Right.
But after James Brown, we don't have no image. You can't say Pastor Troy. I'm glad we ain't had his damn image. Everybody be working around here.
Stolen.
But there's no image.
Yeah.
Atlanta has plenty of images. Atlanta is not just one image. Augusta doesn't even have one.
Right.
So that's why I don't understand when people be like, he's popular, this big. But they popular how? Right. In what way? Are they popular by music? Okay, what makes their music popular? Is because they're talking about it? Are they really out there working? Or they sell dope? Or they in the streets? What makes them really pop? Because if you're not buying merchandise from these people, like buying t-shirts, I don't see nobody walk around with t-shirts with faces. I don't see posters and brands up. I don't see these things. I don't see magazines. I don't see art. You should be big enough to the point where I shouldn't have to hear about it from people that I come across. I should hear it from as soon as I turn on the radio or as soon as I turn on my TV or something. It's not hard to get there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and I just don't like it where some artists, they use that and make it seem like they're doing bigger than what they are. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then that makes the rest of everybody else feel like us who don't have that backing is just so small.
So small, right?
We just so unknown. And it's like, I ain't really even never heard nothing from him either. On my side of town.
So I'm like, I'll be here. I'm like, I don't know how, but... And then when I hear it, I'll be like, I don't know how. Yeah. But
you have to understand, too, Augusta is which I've come to understand, being down here is a really family-oriented place, too. It's a lot of people that's related to each other. That's right. They all stayed in the same neighborhood. It's a lot of people that came here, ain't leave, ain't moved. This is where they've been at their whole lives, their whole lineage. This is them.
You is 100% right on there. You is right.
That's a lot of where that's why I can't really say, it is popularity, but it ain't. Like it's what it's supposed to be.
Too,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, especially when it come across like it's family.
Right.
Like that's what they supposed to do. So
right.
I ain't never really took offense to that in that kind of way. Like,
yeah,
nah.
Yeah.
But you do take offense when it's like how like you said, like when you have those artists that know they have that, and then they see you and try to make you feel like you just so unknown and so small.
Like they ain't never heard of you.
Yeah.
It's like you heard, just that's how it is. And then just a lot of the artists down here, a lot of them don't know how they want that microwave fame. They want it quick in a hurry.
Yeah.
They don't want to build on it.
That's something I never wanted.
Yeah.
I never wanted to do it that way. I never wanted it to be fast because I want longevity.
Right.
And I don't want a gimmick.
You don't want to be known as, that's James Brown. Come to say James Brown granddaughter.
And I gotta you know what I'm saying, do my feet every time I come on stage and shit. Like, I don't want to be a gimmick. Like, I'm trying to be my own brand. I'm not trying to two-step every time I hit that. I can't do the split. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing the split.
People ask you, can you do all that?
Man, I used to. I really, when I was younger, I used to be able to do all that. And then he would come pick me up, or I would go to his house, and I'd bring friends. Like, I had a young lady, what's her name? Tequila. She stayed next to me in my neighborhood, and she came with me to his house one time, and we had a dance off. And my granddaddy was slick. He always had you had a dance off because he's trying to get you to teach him the new dances without you knowing. But he ended up paying everybody. It ain't everybody won, but that's when I taught him how to do the Harlem Shake, and I was bad at the Harlem Shake.
The Harlem Shake was a joint.
I was bad. I won every Harlem Shake contest at Abraham Mary. You better ask him. I was bad. I did all the kicks and everything.
What was the song that came? What was the song? It was a Puff Daddy, ain't it? Wasn't it the Puff Daddy song? Bad Boy? For the Harlem Shake song?
I think I know what you're talking about.
Make this money. Take this money. Yeah. That's where that Harlem Shake dance come from. Let's get it. Okay. So man, so you had So your father, man, he used to work with his father, right? So how, like, what is he? He's a blues. He's a guitar player, right?
Yes, he plays the guitar. He plays the electric guitar. And he plays he's originally a drummer. He's way better at drumming than he is at the guitar. But my granddaddy wanted to get him into something new and wanted him to try a different type of instrument. So he went for the guitar, and he also had people around him that could teach him. Keith and all of them. So it was easy for him to learn it because he had a lot of really talented musicians around him. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So working in the nightlife, you say you do a little bottling, bottling. So what is like? So you being near being an artist, you inside where you see what people like to hear, the type of music they like, the type of music and the vibes and stuff, and the way they just what is some things that you like an artist can learn by a female artist or somebody that's working in the night spots and stuff? What is some stuff that you can learn that can help you with your artistry as far as
the different trends as far as like beats, because it's a beat trend too. Like sometimes what's that, drill beats and stuff like that, all of a sudden they popped up and it became a thing. Trends as far as like fashion and hair and nails and what's big going on in those areas too. So you see what to talk about. Like, I got this and I got that, and I'm gonna go get this, and I want the diamond bezel watch, and you know what I'm saying. You see that, and you also, what directed me to do it the most was I knew I could make the connections to get on the shows, to be able to get on the stage, to be able to, get in front of different artists and be around their people. Right. Like, if I'm doing bottle service and I'm bringing you your bottle, I can, hey, I do such and such real quick, so that's really why I got into it. And you become close with the promoters, you become close with the with the club owner. So now they putting you on shows, or if they got something going on, hey, just go up there real fast. You know, we'll make time for you, huh? Tell the DJ, send the DJ your music, go up there real fast. And that's how I got a lot of my shows. Really, my first year and rapping was just being on that scene. And was really why I really got into it. Like, I'm not no club type person. Like, if I'm not working, I ain't trying to be in there. I have my moments. Like, like I have my moments where I'm lit and I want to be in the club, but it ain't no every weekend type thing. I'm not that girl. I don't like to be in the mix like that. So if I'm not working, I'm not there.
Facts. Okay. Cool. Alright, so before we slide off on NewbieVeT, man, what are some things, like what are some short terms and some big term goals that you're trying to go for?
Right now, just reaching a broader spectrum, being more consistent, you know, with getting pregnant and kind of having to slow down because of that. It stopped me when I had a momentum going. So I'm trying to just get that momentum. It was part of the post. I'm trying to get that momentum going again of who is Niecey B. You know, I had won Best New Artist before, you know, I got pregnant. I was pregnant already at the time. That's why I didn't end up going to the award show, because I was sick. But just trying to get back and get known. Get my name out there. Get the respect I feel like I deserve. You know what I'm saying? Everybody should feel like they deserve some kind of respect, especially when you doing what we doing. It's not easy. You doing it by yourself. We coming out of pocket for everything. You missing out on family time. Like, I got a little, 10-month-old baby that I'm gonna miss out on a lot of time.
Right.
But in order for me to make my dreams come true, you know what I'm saying? And to have something for her to look up to, a legacy to continue for her. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to build my career off of my granddaddy's legacy. I'm just trying to continue our family legacy. And that's really all it is. Because I feel like he's deserving of that. He did a lot.
Yeah, big facts, he did. Most definitely. I mean, he's a godfather of soul, and he's the most sampled person in hip-hop.
Right.
Even to this day. Like, his music still be sampled by hip-hop.
And there's nobody really, even when you think about rock artists and pop artists, that don't reference him when they talk about like their influences.
He's top one, top 5, top 3.
Yep. So, and like my granddaddy said, if you ain't doing something, all publicity is good publicity. He said, I got to do something or they gonna forget about me. So
I gotta do something.
I had to do something. Cause y'all not gonna forget.
Forget about me.
You're not gonna forget about me.
All right, so who you gonna get some shout outs to?
Shout out to the whole VMP for life, Wolfpack, all day. Shout out to my husband for always being my biggest fan, my number one fan, for always being my biggest support, my backbone, keeping me going in this, keeping a smile on my face. Shout out to my family, my mom, my sister, everybody for always having the support, for real. Cause I say some shit and I get people in some shit sometimes that ain't got nothing to do with them. But they always got my back, and I appreciate the people that really did see it for what it was and tried to take up for me. You know what I'm saying? Tried to dead the situation, you know what I'm saying? And it was a lot of people that I didn't even think seen me. For real, like really even really care, you know. But
you know, they didn't see you. They saw drama, or they saw potential drama that they could stir up.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. People don't see positivity. You know what I'm saying. They just see the negative of it.
Yeah, and that's okay, cause you're still talking about me.
Facts.
That's fine. But I am Niecey B Jr. You can't forget the B or the Junior ever, cause it's mine and it means something to me. And you're not going to take that away from me at all. It is what it is. It is what it is. And I'm going to say some shit. So y'all going to be mad at me some more. That's just me.